So REDW, in partnership with the National Native American Human Resources Association and the National Indian Gaming Association, are really excited to bring this tribal government, this new platform. It will feature a 24/7 online availability, improved business intelligence. Questions will be asked differently, providing for more relevant reporting and filtering. More intuitive process for participants, including building a historical database for comparison from year to year, and customizable filtering for enhanced reporting. So you will decide the information you need and check to see how your tribe compares to other tribes similar to you. So these are items we haven't been able to offer in the past, but as beta users, we're thrilled to have you preview this platform and provide valuable feedback. Today's webinar is expected to be about 30 minutes, and we'll walk through aspects of this new platform. We are encouraging and asking you to pose your questions in the box provided by GoToMeeting. We'll answer all those questions at the end of the presentation. So simply type in your question into the question box and we'll make sure it gets answered. So let's introduce Lisa Haslow with Dynamic Benchmarking, who will lead us through today's demo.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the overview of the Tribal Government Compensation Survey. This comprehensive benchmarking platform developed specifically for tribal governments by REDW is easy to use, powerful, and most importantly scalable. Cloud-based, this survey uses the latest encryption technology to ensure anonymity of the participants and, more importantly, the security of their data. Further, you'll be able to register, log in, and start entering data right away. As beta users, you'll be accessing the survey in this testbed, redw.dynebench.com. When fully deployed, this platform will reside as a subdomain at REDW. So let's take a look at this platform. You'll register your tribe by clicking on the new user link here, and you'll be entering your registration information. You may choose any username that you'd like, but we suggest that you use your email address because it's the easiest for you to remember. When deployed, we'll be allowing one registration per tribe. When you enter your registration information, you'll automatically be emailed your login credentials. When you receive this email, you're simply going to click on your login link, set your own password, accept the terms of use, and then you're ready to go to answer your questions. So let's go ahead and log in with a fictitious tribal government. When you log in, you'll always be presented with a pop-up window that provides you with important information about the survey. Be sure to always look at this pop-up, as it will be constantly updated to reflect the most recent guidelines and updates to the features. On the top right of this gateway page, you'll see your username, a link to that login pop-up that we just saw, a link to access your account information called My Account, a link for you to add or delete users for your tribal government called Company Setup, a link to the help page called Support, and then obviously a link to log out. Click on Support to access tools to help you to use this platform. Here you will eventually find many downloadable PDFs that will explain the many features of the Tribal Government Compensation Survey. At full launch, a question organizer will be available to help tribal governments gather answers ahead of time to make data entry quick and easy. A downloadable PDF, which will be a quick start guide, will also be available at full launch to walk you through the entire platform. And then finally, you'll see at the top here a downloadable job position PDF, which is available for you and contains every single position in the survey, as well as a short description of each position. This is going to be very helpful if you don't know which category a particular position may fall. For the beta release, this support page is a work in progress, so please keep this in mind as you're participating. If there are items that you would like to have included on this page, please be sure to list them in your feedback. So we're going to click on Home to return to our gateway page. Under your tribal government compensation logo and under this menu bar, you have 3 tabs. My Tribal Government is where you're going to enter all of your tribal government data. Comparing is where instant, personalized comparison information will be accessed. and reporting is where you can download a variety of PowerPoint charts which will graphically display your data for deeper analysis. Again, as beta users, it's critical that you consider what key performance indicators you'd like to see in this area. On this gateway page, you'll see that questions are divided into functional areas which contain bulleted question groups specific to tribal governments. Additionally, we've provided a separate category for every single area for you to enter your feedback. Obviously, this will be removed for the full launch. Note that even as a beta user, you can enter your real tribal data and it will not be deleted when the survey is fully launched. The default year for entering data to this survey is 2014, but we will add a new year pull down every single year that the survey is open for data collection. At the very bottom of the gateway page, you'll see a very simple progress bar which will indicate how much of the survey you've completed. In order to have access to the powerful comparison reporting features, you'll need to answer all the questions in the survey. The question tallies at the bottom of each category will tell you exactly where the unanswered questions are. So, to begin, all we need to do is click on any of the gray bulleted question groups to enter data about your tribal government. It's important to notice that you don't have to start in a specific place to proceed in any specific order or to complete the entire survey in one sitting. You can start wherever you'd like. The Tribal Government Survey collects overall profile data about your tribe, as well as compensation data for over 200 job positions. Simply select the positions that you have in your tribe and enter the data only for those positions. The positions are grouped into the following areas: education staff, finance and maintenance staff, public safety and justice staff, community and quality life staff, health and human services staff, tribal leadership, tribal administration, and a category that contains all of the other positions that are not included above. Additionally, we do have some positions that are frequently included in more than one area, and they've been pulled out into their own category called positions applicable across multiple departments. Notice that the salary data sections are organized to capture compensation data about any position that a tribal government could possibly have. There may be many, many jobs listed here that your tribal government simply does not employ. All compensation questions will be stored in the annual salary format, and this organization will be very easy to navigate and will also provide your tribal government with the powerful options for comparing, filtering, and reporting. So let's go ahead and look at a specific example. Let's say, for example, your tribal government employs an inspector and a plumber in the facilities and maintenance area. We look in the facilities and maintenance positions and click on the Select Positions tab. We simply go through and check the boxes next to the positions we have, inspector and plumber. We click a Save option at the bottom of every single page to dynamically submit the data as we move through the survey. Save will save the data to the database but remain on the same page. Cancel will abandon all data that's been entered and not save it to the database. And Save and Continue will save the data to the database and move to the next logical location of the survey. In this case, we'll Save and Continue. This is going to bring us to the next tab where we're going to enter the data only about the positions that we've actually selected. So, for example, the first list of questions is going to be for the inspector. We have no alternative name for our inspectors. We actually pay our inspectors an annual salary. And in our fictitious tribe, we employ 3 inspectors. Continuing down to the compensation portion, we note that in 2014, the minimum that we pay our inspectors is $25,000 a year. The average rate that we pay our inspectors is $32,000 a year, and the maximum is $38,000 per year. Further, in our fictitious tribe, we have a formal pay scale, which we also enter here. This annual salary calculator at the bottom is not required because we actually pay our inspectors annually, so we don't need to do any calculations. Again, at the bottom we press Save and Continue. That will submit the data to the database and bring us to our next selected position, plumber. Again, we have the same exact questions, but in this case, the plumbers at our tribe are paid an hourly wage, not an annual salary. We have no alternative name for our plumber. We click that the position is paid an hourly wage. We have 6 plumbers in our tribe, and then we continue down to the compensation portion. We note that we don't have an annual salary because we don't pay our plumbers annually. We pay them hourly wages. So now this is where the annual salary calculator comes in handy. So in 2014, the minimum that we pay our plumbers is $9.50 per hour, which we enter into the hourly pay wage for this position. We click Save, which will do the calculation for us based on a year that's 2080 hours, and that gives us $19,760, which we now can input into the minimum annualized salary. We can proceed to do the same thing for the average and the maximum using this annual salary calculator at the bottom. In this case, we don't have a formal pay scale for plumbers, so we simply enter 0 for each of these values. And we save and continue. Now notice that there's a variety of different types of questions on this survey. We have text-only data entry forms, we have multiple choice questions, and we have numerics. When entering numbers, it's never necessary to indicate currency symbols or commas, as the platform already knows what type of information is being entered. Notice also that as data is entered, this data input box turns from white to green. When the data entry box is green, it means the data has not been saved to the database yet. However, by clicking the Save option at the bottom, we take all this data and dynamically put it to the database, and you can see now this input box has turned white. That means that this data is now saved to the database. Now you can always come back and modify the data as many times as you'd like during the data collection phase of the survey. Again, as a reminder, you're only going to be entering data about the positions that you actually have at your tribal government. The questions are always going to be in this dark gray and are designated by arrows. Explanatory help text will often be provided in a light gray text beneath each question to ensure that you understand exactly what the question is asking. As beta users, again, it's important for you to take note if the questions are being asked in the clearest possible way, and if the help text adequately explains the intention of the question. Again, if you have any kind of feedback on the questions, simply enter it in the Feedback tab in every single category. We are truly counting on you to enter as much feedback as possible as beta users. So, at the close of the data collection phase, full launch participants will have the opportunity to purchase access to this powerful comparing and reporting through REDW. But as beta users, you'll have an early look at these features simply by completing the survey. So let's take a quick look at the Compare tab. If I click on Comparing, it shows me a page that looks exactly like the data entry page, except for it's missing the question tallies in the progress bar. We simply click on the question group that we're interested in looking at, and a comparison page will be displayed. Again, if we focus on the Facilities and Maintenance area, and we click on Select Positions, we're now looking at comparison information based on what we entered. We see that the two choices that we selected were Inspector and Plumber, and they're indicated in blue. All of the other data in the database is indicated in black, so we can see which percentage of the database includes these job positions. Also notice that for every single metric we have a on-demand pop-up icon. This pop-up chart will show the same information but uses a different graphical representation that you can either download or save in PDF or PowerPoint. So these pop-up charts are really cool, and they're available for every single numeric and multiple choice question. When you're done looking at the pop-up charts, simply click the X to return back to the survey. Now the more interesting piece here is we're going to look at the comparison piece about the actual compensation information. So once again, we're looking at inspectors. We see that 88% of the tribes pay this position annually, which is our answer as well, highlighted in blue, and 12% pay this an hourly wage. For each numeric question, you'll be shown a line chart. The answer for your tribal government is always going to be in blue above the line chart, and your percentile will be shown. So For this question, the minimum annualized salary, we entered $25,000 annually for the inspector, and that's the 13th percentile. The 25th percentile is shown on the far left, and the 75th percentile is shown on the far right, and the median is in black below the line. Once again, notice that you've got pop-up charts for every single question on this page. These pop-up charts are per question and show a quick and easy look at where you fall on the scatter line. If you choose filters, they will also be shown here. So while it's very valuable to see how your tribal government compares to all the tribal governments in the entire database, it's actually even more interesting to compare your performance to a relevant peer group. Filters specifically designed by REDW are set up in this platform to dynamically select peer groups and to drill down into the data. Again, it's really important to note that it's impossible to drill down so far in the data that the anonymity of any one tribe would be compromised. For example, you can filter based on the number of employees, the annual revenue, the state location, or the tribal organization type. You can choose to not use any filters, you can choose one filter, or you can layer as many filters as you'd like. You add filters by simply clicking on the Change button. Numerics are selected on a sliding scale, and multiple choice are selected with a pull-down. By applying filters, you can actually see how many tribal governments you're now being compared to and how your percentiles change as a result of only looking at a subset of the database. Again, you're only able to drill down with the filters as long as the number of tribal governments returned is greater than 5, so it's never possible to figure out which tribe entered which dataset. Again, as beta users, you have the opportunity to decide which filters you'd like to be built into this platform, and note that any question on the entire survey can be made into a filter. Once again, filter information should be entered into your beta feedback section. So finally, let's take a look at the reporting feature. To download custom reports, click on the Reporting tab. Once again, you see that your filters are included and can be modified as you'd like. Choose a year, and then choose the report that you'd like to download. For this beta release, we've included some sample charts for you to look at, and it's really important for you to consider what you'd ultimately like to see in these reports. It's a great opportunity for you to specify your key performance indicators, the benchmarks that are most important to your tribe. These are the benchmarks that you will be able to use to make the business decisions about your tribe. So again, for this beta release, we've downloaded the tribal government beta sample report directly to our laptop, and we can open this PowerPoint slide deck. The first page of every single report is going to be an overview page which describes the name of the report, who created it, the date that it was created, the fiscal year, any filters that were provided, and also how many slides are shown and how many responses per slide. Each chart is going to be titled and may contain a legend explaining where your tribal government is in relation to your peers. As you can see, there's many different chart styles, including line charts, bar charts, and pie charts. These PowerPoint slides can be saved, emailed, or printed to help you capture historic information, communicate with others, and prepare for presentations. You can return to the Tribal Government Compensation Survey at any time to modify filters or to download additional reports to continue learning about your tribal government. So that concludes our very, very brief overview of the Tribal Government Compensation Survey. I encourage you to walk through the entire survey and really enter your feedback in as much detail as you can as you go. Your feedback about all aspects of this platform will be critical to its ultimate success. If you have any concerns at all, do not hesitate to email us at benefits@redw.com. So now, Lisa, let's take some time to answer some questions.
Does anybody have any they want to pose?
Yeah, I've got a few listed here. How do I get into the comment box to put them down?
Every single category has a comment box, so let's look at this overall one. We've got overall feedback here, so here's all of the different comment boxes for the overall survey.
Okay, so you just indicated that the beta collection ends when? 5/23?
For the beta users.
Yeah, it ends on 5/23.
Right. But then you can go back in once we launch it and finish inputting if you don't get all of yours in by the 23rd.
Yeah, the goal, hopefully, for everyone on the call is that we want you to be able to put in enough data and go through enough screens that you can provide feedback on all the different areas for the beta test, so that we can take your feedback and really incorporate it into the platform before it's fully launched. But as Alicia pointed out, even if you don't get all the data in there that you want, you'll be able to do that once it's fully launched and we're in data collection phase.
Okay, so the beta ends on 5/23, and you're just looking for input from the beta users to try and improve the product, and then the actual data collection phase is going to run through roughly the end of July.
That's right.
Okay.
So we, again, really the key there is just working through it enough that you're able to provide some feedback or see what's not working. One thing, Kat, it sounds like you'll be one of the people really doing a lot of data entry. If there's any instructions that aren't real clear, that kind of feedback would be really helpful as well.
All right.
Any other questions? Okay, well, we want to thank all of you for participating. Please remember that you have that support tab you can go to and resource documents, which we think will be helpful, but we're certainly open to feedback to improve those as well. And if you have any other questions, please contact Alicia, myself. You have the benefits@redw.com email address, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can to help you with your questions.